Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. Man, let me tell y'all. Jerry Jones, we're going to get this thing started, man. Jerry Jones is a stone cold trip. Jerry Jones is a stone cold trip. And we're going to start the show off with him today. But let me kind of give us the agenda of what we are going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to spend quite a bit of our time on the Jerry Jones interview on 105.3 The Fan. We have got to look at that because the way that whole thing went, man, is crazy. So we're going to play that and we're going to analyze it. And then we're going to jump into another couple of points from that. We're going to look at the thing that Jerry Jones said about Derrick Henry. I want to analyze that very, very closely because a lot of people, they just kind of say things off the cuff, but I want people to really hear things that Jerry Jones is saying because now, understand this part. Doesn't mean I agree with what Jerry Jones is saying. I'm just saying what Jerry Jones is saying based on what he's been doing. It just makes sense, even if it don't make sense to us. Shout out to Nisi. What's going on, Nisi? What's going on, Nisi? Got Delton Senior. Jerry who? What's going on, Delton? We'll see what Jerry doing. Gregory Barnes, what's going on? Sunday night is a good check time for time to be a pro. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about with that Sunday night game. And I'm going to talk about the Derrick Henry issue. Jerry said something interesting about Amari Cooper, which I thought was very interesting. He also said something about Mike McCarthy, because I'm really going to talk about this whole issue of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones's response to the Troy Aikman issue. Fascinating. I'm actually going to do a separate video about that later on. And then I'm going to talk about the number one issue. We're going to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to start building up towards that. We'll have probably a full breakdown come Friday, whole bunch of stats, graphics, videos, whole 9 yards on that matchup. But the part of the matchup I'm going to focus on today is what I think is going to be the biggest problem for the Dallas Cowboys going into this game. And I'm going to expose the running game for the San Francisco 49ers, even without Christian McCaffrey. Man, I'm telling y'all, this running game is scary for the San Francisco 49ers. So we better buckle up. But what I want to go to first is I want to get into this whole thing about Jerry Jones getting back on the fan. Jerry Jones getting back on the fan. I mean, it is fascinating to me how this entire interview went. And I'll stop at different parts so I can elaborate on what I'm hearing and react to what I'm hearing. And then also for some of your comments in case you didn't hear the Jerry Jones interview this morning, in case you didn't hear it. But I'll start it out like this before I start the interview. I really didn't like the fact that Jerry Jones got on here and did this interview. I mean, I wish Jerry Jones would have took his business elsewhere to the ticket. I mean, because let's just be honest, man. I don't care what anyone says. I gave y'all the backstory. This station has been clowning on the Cowboys for years. Anybody in the DFW, you got to be 100% real. These folks in the media, they're just talking about an incident. But us folks here, we know the fan been clowning. And they keep this fan base tripping. Good evening, Donald. And so I was a little bit perturbed. I mean, it's not my money. I'm just saying, I was a little bit perturbed that Jerry came back on there. But what I want y'all to hear is how Jerry came back on here. Man, this is Jerry Jones. This is Jerry Jones at his, I don't know. I like Jerry Jones. I like Jerry Jones, the owner. I like Jerry Jones, the businessman. I don't like Jerry Jones being the GM, and I definitely wish he'd keep his nose out of coaching. But without further ado, because I really want to do some talking on this and let y'all hear it, Let's hear how Jerry Jones started this interview. Let's roll it. Hold on just a second. Got technical difficulty here. Want to make sure y'all can hear it, not just through my MacBook speakers. All right, here we go. Let's try that again without further ado. Let's roll it.
W Sports Station. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
And how you doing, RJ? Good to be on with you guys.
Oh, man, that stings. That stings, Jerry. RJ's the only one not here today.
Well, did he want to avoid the confrontation?
Yes, he did.
Jerry Jones is absolute savage. He is absolute savage. Now, I want you to listen to Jerry Jones' demeanor as he gets into this next part.
Yes, he did. Jerry, well, what do you want to say, if anything, about last week?
I don't have anything to say about last week. I'm happy, though, that I must tell you I'm surprised that last week got the attention it got. But,
Are y'all hearing Jerry Jones? This dude is savage. Jerry Jones wrecked 105.3. Called them yahoos. Said they were not true fans. Jerry Jones absolutely wrecked 105.3 The Fan. He wrecked shop on 105.3 The Fan. And then Jerry just stepped on here like, I ain't saying nothing. I don't understand why everybody tripping. Come on, Jerry. Jerry was on here talking about people. He can get the people he want to interview. And I mean, and really what he was saying, he could take his business somewhere else and get somebody to interview him. I mean, Jerry straight clowned. And now Jerry's saying, I don't even know what the big deal was. Y'all know what Jerry's saying? Business as usual for me. I'm telling y'all, people don't understand how businessmen think. They don't think like the rest of us. These folk who got money, folks try to make this into, they think they better than everybody. Y'all don't understand something, though. They don't think, people who are successful in particular, they don't think like the rest of us. We'll get all in our feelings about some comments. We'll get all in our feelings and be like, I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to be done. Business people, business as usual. Folks' feelings get hurt, big deal. This ain't about feelings. This ain't about folks' feelings. This is about making money. Y'all better hear me on Jerry Jones.
Really, when I think about what we try to do on this show, for me, is I think we give you 2 shots a week that I get on, and Stephen gets on once or twice, and Mike, I don't know if Mike gets on or not, but those are really a privilege. It's kind of like pillow talk. You get some inside stuff. As you know, I don't go before the normal press conferences during the week usually.
Yeah.
And so this is the kind of thing that I would expect and how I would answer it relative to many of your questions. You're going to ask me today because Henry had a big night, Derrick Henry last night. You're going to ask me again how come when Henry was available and right here in Dallas said we didn't get him. And I will tell you.
Hold on a second. What's going on, Angie? Hold on a second. Jerry Jones is very anticipatory, isn't he? See, Jerry Jones is saying something. I'm not going to let y'all get me worked up like y'all did last week because I was about to I was about to do some things up in here. But I'm not going to let y'all. I'm going to beat y'all to the point, to the punch and the point. I'm going to show you I'm smarter than y'all. But this part right here, this is the part we're going to deep dive into. You know what? He mentions Derrick Henry. Jerry Jones can tell me anything he wants to. Jerry Jones losing sleep at night behind Derrick Henry. And I'm going to show y'all why after he makes these comments. We gonna analyze these comments that he's making about Derrick Henry that's got a whole lot of folk mad. Listen to Jerry talk about Derrick Henry.
The same kind of question is one that my wife might ask me of 60-something years. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I really don't know why I did that. The devil made me do it.
The devil made you do it. You are the devil, Jerry. A lot of people fool themselves when they say the devil don't make us do anything. The devil may solicit evil, but we're the ones who do evil, whatever that may be. When we do wrong, that's our choice. I'm actually laughing. Jerry just saying sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason to what he does. He just does what he wants to do.
And so my point is, those kinds of questions are pointedly toward putting you on a spot to make a certain kind of answer.
Yeah.
I've obviously been asked that Derrick Henry question almost every day since we started training camp. And so that's a get in your ass type of question.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I see that coming, and that's real good. Mm-hmm. But when you do it several times, and of course, I keep up with what you guys say when I'm not on the show.
Now, do y'all remember what I said last week? Y'all gonna call me a prophet before it's over. Remember what I told you. The reason why Jerry was tripping is that Jerry had been answering that question over and over and over. And as a matter of fact, they asked him the same question 2 times. Then they asked him a 3rd time. And Jerry is giving the same answer over and over. And he's going to give that same answer in this interview, even though nobody likes it. Now let's reflect on the second thing I told you. This station has been hating on the Dallas Cowboys for years. Did you catch what Jerry Jones said? I listen to what you guys are saying when I'm not on the show. Jerry is paying attention. And so when Jerry went off and gave them the business, y'all better hear me what I'm saying. Jerry gave them the business because they've been acting the fool for a long time. And so Jerry wanted to put some folks in their place. That's what folks not realizing about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones was tripping because they been tripping. Y'all keep listening to Jerry Jones. Let's get a couple comments. Delton Sr. said, time for the Cowboys to ante up coaches and player-wise. Sunday had to make it worse with a loss or stop the bleeding with a win. Let me tell you something with this San Francisco 49. I'll go ahead and say this right now. This is one of them situations where they say, you deed if you do and you deed if you don't. If we beat them, they're decimated. We should have beat them. If we get beat, they're decimated. We're a crying shame. So my advice to the Cowboys is just go ahead and beat the brakes off of them irregardless and don't care what nobody say. Just beat the brakes off of them. Nisi says, wow, I used to say the devil made me do it at age 5 when I was called. They get that from, I think it's Nipsey Russell. He's the one who made that saying. Now, if I hadn't been saying this, and it's actually not him, it's not Nipsey Russell I'm thinking about. The devil made me do it originally came from a comedian. Can't believe I can't remember this. I used to use this all the time. The devil made me do it. Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson made that popular. The devil made me do it. But when we truly understand what we're talking about, the devil doesn't actually make us do anything. He's a solicitor of evil. We the ones who do it. And so, yeah, Jerry is over here straight tripping. Scott Merritt said that's his job. Yep. It's there so they can say what they can say what they want. And it's letting you in on something that Jerry is saying something. what we do on this show. Jerry is saying that this show is just as much mine as it is theirs. So Jerry is basically saying something. You know what? Been hearing what you've been saying, and I'm tired of the tripping. And so that's why Jerry kind of put them in line. They've been tripping. But listen to what he keeps saying about Derrick Henry that's got folks in an uproar.
And so when you do it several times, I know that when you're asked about a question such as one that you might have at home, why did you do that? And you do it several times, then you really know what the situation is, where it's coming from. So those are the kinds of things that this show, to me, can and be about. For instance, if you ask me how I make a decision, I would say I'd maybe go back to a story of when I was buying the Cowboys. And we got down to where there was a $300,000 difference. And we couldn't get by it, the man that sold the team to me. And so he suggested we flip a coin. And we flipped that coin and I lost.
Does your resume look like this? This is not a great resume. This is not going to...
Let's let this ad play real quick. But this is something right here I'm telling y'all. Jerry is about to drop some science right here. I want y'all to pay attention to what he says.
Ended up with the Dallas Cowboys. My point is, I don't know why I called heads rather than tails, and I couldn't explain to you why I called heads rather than tails. But some of this stuff works out, some of it doesn't. That's the kind of thing and the kind of answers I would expect us to be talking about on this show.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to hear what Jerry's saying. Jerry is saying, I said this before. You heard what he's saying? I need y'all to stop questioning me over and over and over about the same thing when I've given you the answer. That's number one. Number two, listen to what he's saying. I'm a businessman. I don't operate like y'all operate. When y'all take a risk saying y'all don't want to lose nothing. Jerry is saying when I take a risk because I'm trying to gain something. And so Jerry is saying that when I take a risk, I want to wait and see what is the end result of whatever decision that I made. And so what Jerry is saying is, stop pestering me at 3-3. Don't pester me at 3-4 or 4-3 or 5-3 or 3-5. Don't pester me. I want y'all to wait and see what we look like at the end of the season. And when I see what we look like at the end of the season with these young players that I'm rolling with, when I see what we look like, when I see whether or not we went to the playoffs, whether or not we went to the Super Bowl, I want y'all to shut your mouth until I get there or till I don't get there. And then we'll do all this talking. That's what Jerry is saying. Now, watch this. He don't get to tell people that. I mean, he can tell people that, but they don't have to obey what he's saying. But that's what Jerry is saying even about the fan. I wish y'all would stop joining in with them, the media, the people outside of the Dallas Cowboy fan base. I want y'all to stop going along with the haters out there. And with this show, do you see what he's saying? What I think we should do with this show. Someone said this is their show, is it? Is it their show or is it their show? Is this 105.3 the fan show or is this 105.3 the fan show and Jerry's show? Jerry is saying, I need y'all to work with me. Stop trying to work against me. Stop trying to make these, because what we're calling mountains, y'all realize something Jerry doing? Jerry calling them molehills. Jerry calling them molehills. Jerry saying, just wait and see how this thing turn out. Wait and see how this thing turn out. I'm telling y'all, Jerry loves to. Jerry he had me laughing when he said that pillow talk. He had me laugh when he said that pillow talk. We couldn't beat the brakes off of a high school team. Well, I tell you this, we better beat the brakes off of the San Francisco 49ers or else it's over. Revelation journalist says Jerry Jones is the face of America's, and now he is the face of America's corporate fascist team. Okay, I hear what you're saying there. But Jerry's in this thing to make money for the league. He says, I'm convinced anything McCarthy or Jerry says is AI generated. Well, you know what? I believe that with Mike McCarthy, but Jerry Jones, man, that dude, man. Jerry Jones is a different character, bro. He the last of a dying breed. Niecy said Flip Wilson's character, Geraldine. Yep. Bill Bates says, but a high school team could beat the brakes off of us. Well, I don't care if they can. I know we better win this game against the 49ers. Come on, Gerald. Y'all, that Gerald Jones, the malignant narcissist speaks. Man, Jerry just on a different level. Feel like we lost. Not Jerry. You know what, Angie? I'm telling people. Y'all know why Jerry not tripping? Because Jerry know what he doing. I'm not saying Jerry know what he doing. I'm saying Jerry knows what he's doing. Jerry keeps telling us he knows the decision that he's made with this team. He knows the decision. Freedom of speech is not freedom of permission to speak. Well, it is. We just have to understand something, Revelation. This is what I love about America. It is freedom of speech and it is freedom of permission to speak. What we have to understand is that there are consequences that comes along with what we speak freely. So when we speak certain things freely, we need to be understanding that we don't get to control people's response. But you see what Jerry is doing? Jerry is trying to control the response in a sense by saying, I need y'all to stop tripping because this is what we do on this show. I thought it was their show. It's not their show. And I'm in agreement with that. It's not their show. Do we not all realize something? Niecy, I'm about to let us in on something. Niecy says, Angie, we the fan care more than the owner, GM, head coach, and players. Let me let y'all in on something. This is the Jerry Jones Show. We're fans. Y'all think we're fans of the team. No. We're fans of the Jerry Jones Show. This has been the Jerry Jones Show ever since he fired Jimmy Johnson. This became the Jerry Jones Show the moment Barry Switzer showed up and stood on the sideline and watched the Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl. This is the Jerry Jones Show. And we can say anything we want to. We don't like Jerry. We don't like Jerry this and fire Jerry. We ain't firing Jerry. Ain't nobody firing Jerry. Jerry ain't done until he dead. Jerry is not done until he dead. This is the Jerry Jones Show. And all we can do, whether we like it or not, all we can do is watch it. All we can do is watch it. And in the Jerry Jones Show, whether we like it or not, I don't believe Jerry Jones don't want to win. I believe he wants to win. But I also believe Jerry Jones wants to win his way. He wants to win as it pertains to the advertisement dollars. He wants to win as in making the NFL popular. Jerry wants to win with folk hating the Cowboys. I told y'all the other day, Jerry is serving two fan bases. Y'all don't think Jerry love folk hating the Cowboys? Man, we talking I'm telling y'all, Jerry on a whole different level. And I'm not saying Jerry's on a level to where he's better than us, but Jerry's on a whole nother level. We're in our feelings. Jerry said ain't no such thing as bad publicity. Jerry said ain't no such thing. So y'all can grit y'all teeth and y'all can say y'all want me fired. Jerry said, well, at least you talking about me. Jerry is saying, y'all saying I'm the worst GM, I'm the worst owner, I'm the worst coach. And you know what makes Jerry Jones, why I say this is the Jerry Jones Show? Watch what happened on Sunday night. There was something that happened this week in the NFL, and I heard some people talking about it. Did y'all realize the ratings were down in the NFL this week? Someone says that people are getting tired of the NFL. They're not getting tired of the NFL. Hey, y'all tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Did the Dallas Cowboys play this week? They said the ratings were down in the NFL. Y'all help me out. I was asleep this weekend. I was dreaming. Did the Dallas Cowboys play this week? Did the Dallas Cowboys play Sunday? There's a correlation between those ratings being down because this is the Jerry Jones show. When the Dallas Cowboys hit that field on Sunday night, all the haters will be tuned in. All of the people who said they're off the bandwagon, guess where they're going to be? They're going to be sitting beside the bandwagon. They're going to be in the bandwagon because everybody is going to be looking to see if the Dallas Cowboys can beat the decimated San Francisco 49ers, never giving us any credit, never giving us a break, saying we're decimated with injuries too. Watch what I tell you. Y'all better hear me when I'm telling you this is the Jerry Jones show. Bill Bay says Jerry Jones can say whatever he wants. Almost 30 years since we won anything. He could go jump in a lake, man. And you know what? And we'll watch. Jerry Jones jump in the lake, everybody will watch. Everybody will talk about it. They'll be on the front page of every newspaper. They'll be at the top on X. They'll be trending all over the internet. And even when Jerry loses, y'all don't understand. This is why Jerry ain't tripping. Because even when Jerry loses, Jerry wins. It's the Jerry Jones show. This man done stepped up on this show acting like, why y'all acting like this over what I said? You know why we acting like this, Jerry Jones. Y'all know. Not pestering Jerry does not create clicks and views. You better hear me. Y'all, you better hear him. They not hearing me, Spider-Man. FYI, Kamara uses the Cowboys name and got his 2-year extension. Have you noticed this, Niecy? Have you noticed how smart people are? That whenever their name comes up for a trade, isn't it strange how everybody says, oh, the Dallas Cowboys is tied to so-and-so and so-and-so. The Dallas Cowboys are tied to so-and-so and so-and-so. Because immediately, like a moth to a flame, here come the media. Here come the media talking about the Cowboys should have got this person. Cowboys should have got that. And Jerry Jones sitting back laughing because he's like, I'm not picking up nobody. Angie, they not hearing me. This is the Jerry Jones show. And every time we say a negative comment about him, we are feeding into exactly what he wants. Jerry wants the Dallas Cowboys. He wants Jerry Jones' name on every headline. Jerry Jones blowing it up. You're right. He does know that. But the money he spent on Dak and CD, you know why? Because they're a part of the plan. Jerry Jones is saying that Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, and Micah Parsons are a part of the plan. Dak Prescott, whether we accept it or not, he's young in quarterback years. Very young in quarterback years. He's 31. And is it 30 or 31? Whatever, 30 or 31. That's not old in quarterback years. We're watching Aaron Bleeping Rodgers, as they call him. He's out there on the field and he's 40. Tom Brady. Do y'all know Tom Brady is an anomaly? Somebody need to check on Tom Brady. We need to see if Tom Brady is an actual robot. Do y'all realize that Tom Brady played until he was 45 and could have still played? Tom Brady was still good. Tom Brady could have literally played till he was probably 70. I'm not saying 70. Tom Brady could have played till he was 47, 48 years old. The only thing that would have stopped him is Father Time is undefeated. Somebody probably would have eventually tackled him and broke some of his bones. But Tom Brady, skill-wise, cerebral-wise, Tom Brady could have kept playing. I'm telling y'all, Tom Brady could have kept playing. Angie said Jerry said he saved his money while trading Amari. Oh, wait a minute, Angie. We're going to get to that because I'm telling y'all something. Jerry Jones made me do a double take when he talked about Amari Cooper. Let's keep going on this interview. I just want to read some of the comments. I'll try to catch up on some as we keep going. Let's listen to Jerry Jones, as some of these folks calling him. Let's listen to Jerry Jones as he keep on going.
And I get all that, and normally we're usually on the same page in terms of the topics and the subjects. That's why I think last week threw us off a little bit. But look, man, as I've said multiple times, Jerry, you've provided us, radio gold, and it is a privilege to be able to do this show with you for 15 years. And we had some fireworks, and that's kind of the way I view it, despite the payment and suspension and move the show and all that stuff, because we're usually in lockstep. So I understand that.
Listen, here's the thing. The fact that we've been...
Hold on a second. Are they normally in lock and step? I hadn't been hearing them being in lock and step. Let me tell y'all something. I was talking to my uncle about this. I told my uncle, I said, I don't know who the owner of 105.3 The Fan is. And I think they said this guy, R.J. Chappie, wasn't on here this week because he wanted to avoid the confrontation. Did he? Why didn't these two guys want to avoid the confrontation? And you're going to hear something that is strange, and maybe they're just kind of being facetious, but it sounded like to me they were asking Jerry, what should they call this new show they have of just them two, RJ and Sean, whoever it is, probably being facetious. But I just wonder if the brass up top said, you're going to sit this one out. Jerry Jones is the product. And we don't want to get rid of the product. And I'm not going to be surprised if Jerry talked to whoever owns 105.3 The Fan and said, get in line. Man, y'all have been, I'm telling y'all, people don't understand. Boy, money talk. Money talk and all that other yickety yak that other folk do, man, that thing run a marathon. Money talk, man. Folk ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about the marathon, man. We talking about the money. I got that from New Jack City. They say it in a different way. I don't run around here cursing, but I'm telling us, man, money talk. All that yin yang, yickety yak, and everything. Everybody else, man, that's a marathon, man. That thing run a marathon. People run their mouth all the time, but running your mouth, it don't make money. Jerry is trying to tell folks something, man. Running your mouth don't make money. What I'm doing is making money. I'm bringing attention to this radio station. I'm bringing attention to the NFL. I'm bringing attention to this team. Let me do it my way. Boy, y'all better hear Jerry Jones, man. Jerry Jones is speaking like a businessman, and people ain't hearing him. What's going on, Roger M? Welcome. Let's go.
Been doing it 15 years.
Yeah.
Shows that someplace in between there, we got comfortable in our skin doing these type things. And we did get comfortable with it. Now, I'm tickled to death that we have as much interest in this as we do, and as you well know. But, guys, I have no issue, and you know that.
Jerry is playing y'all. Y'all hear Jerry? I can't believe this had as much interest. What? Jerry Jones knew exactly what he was doing. Jerry Jones knew the minute he did what he did, they was going to run with this thing, man. Y'all hear what they're doing? Woo, boy, you won't talk about pillow talk. Angie, we going to have to go a little farther than pillow talk. I mean, they flat out making up. I mean, they doing everything but hugging and kissing right here online. They doing everything but hugging and kissing. Y'all hear what they're doing? There were some conversations. That's what happened. We got the pecking order right. Whether we like it or not, somebody got the pecking order right. Y'all see how they talking now? I haven't been hearing them talk about we're normally in lock and step. I used to listen to the show a lot, and I didn't hear them being in lock and step. What I heard was the 105.3 The Fan doing their normal hating on the Dallas Cowboys, and then when Jerry get on, they start cheesing. I've been watching y'all in the chat. Yeah, y'all know why them ratings were down in the NFL this week? The Dallas Cowboys didn't play. Watch what happened on Sunday night. I will not be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys once again Sunday night football between a 3-4 team and a 3-3 team. I will not be surprised they break records on Sunday night as if it was the playoffs on the line. This is the effect of the Dallas Cowboys. We better recognize, man, this is the Dallas Cowboys we talking about. America team, whether you love them or hate them, they're America's team. And I think in a lot of instances they are like America. A lot of turmoil. A lot of turmoil. But still the greatest country in the world. A lot of turmoil. Folks will risk their life to come here. A lot of turmoil. Always in everything. A lot of turmoil. Dallas Cowboys. We would love for them to be America's team for winning, but if that was the case, it'd be the New England Patriots. Nope. How old are you, Angie? I know they say it's not right to ask a woman her age, so I'm assuming you must be 30. I'm telling us. Just keep listening. Just keep listening. Amen, Brother Barnes. I'm telling us. Watch this. Jerry is going off in this thing. If Tom won a second Super Bowl with Tampa, he would be 50 on that field. You know what, though, Niecy? I think he could have did it. But let's keep listening to Jerry. I want to let you hear what he said about Derrick Henry.
As a matter of fact, you've said that. I have no issue with getting up in front of a bunch of media and people of journalism and asking the question and answering, getting questions and answering.
Yeah.
And I don't have any problem with that. Would you agree with that?
Yes, totally.
And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but the point is that.
Y'all see what Jerry did there? Jerry said, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth while putting words in their mouth. Y'all not, boy, Jerry Jones is showing us. He is showing us this is the Jerry Jones Show. Welcome. Have a seat. Have a seat. Somebody said in the chat, let me see, I think it was Donna Moore. They talk about the Cowboys and not their own. They don't have nothing to talk about this week. Y'all notice they had absolutely nothing to talk about that anybody paid attention to? Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles. I feel sorry for him. Nobody cared. Brandon Ayuk ripped his knee. I feel sorry for him. Y'all notice nobody cared? Nobody was talking about those things. Barely talked about those things. They couldn't wait to get back on Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. They couldn't wait until this interview. And they started riding this interview rather than riding what happened this past week. Y'all better hear me. They need the Dallas Cowboys. I told y'all, Jerry Jones, he's Scarface up in this thing. I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy because y'all need a bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. That's Jerry Jones. Listen to him.
We've, in my mind, we're not playing very good football right now at all. And it's beyond whether or not we have Derrick Henry or not. Derrick Henry is having a career year. I don't know if he'd be having that career year in our situation. And that's really something you really do have to look at, because if he had not had as many carries as our running backs have had, then he certainly probably wouldn't have attained the level of impact he's having. And then he's...
So hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. I've been hearing people today criticize Jerry Jones about this statement right here. And my spidey senses started tingling. I had to think about this statement because Jerry Jones is saying something that we don't like. And I've been hearing people criticize, but I'm being honest with you. I had to really think about this. Is it that our running backs, is it that they can't run the ball, or is it we can't block anybody running? Are you hearing what Jerry Jones just said? My team isn't good right now. We're not playing well. We can't block like the Baltimore Ravens. We can't block like them. Not only can we not block like them? But we actually have a scheme that is run first. Do y'all realize last year the Baltimore Ravens led the league in rushing for most of the season? They are a running football team. They have a running quarterback. Even last year the running backs were running. Let me help y'all with something, because sometimes people don't hear what Jerry Jones is saying. I paid $60 million. I paid $60 million for a Lamborghini. I'm not driving him around in the heavy traffic in Dallas. I want to put him on an Autobahn. I don't pay a quarterback to throw the ball 15 times. Are we hearing what Jerry is saying? Even the scheme that we run, would Derrick Henry be able to do what he's doing with the Baltimore Ravens? Now, by no stretch of the imagination am I agreeing with Jerry Jones, because I would have loved to have Derrick Henry here. I would have loved to have Derrick Henry here. But it makes me wonder in what Jerry Jones is saying, whether we love it, like it, or hate it, is he making some sense? Y'all tell me, is he making some sense? Because he's saying that he don't know if Derrick Henry would be doing what he's doing here. They can't block. We're not a run first team. Our identity is a passing team. So even if we were trying to play balanced football with Derrick Henry, would he be having the same kind of year with the Dallas Cowboys? Y'all tell me in the chat, and then I'm going to let you hear some more about Derrick Henry, and then I'm going to show you some stats on Derrick Henry that are mind-boggling.
A real good compliment to the type of offense they run. We don't run that type of offense at all. Our situation is more about, frankly, it's more about holding your blocks. It's more about not making mistakes. It's more about, in my mind, the receivers running through a tough man-to-man coverage and running on through it. And, if you will, get away from that. The types of things that we all think we should be looking at is, well, we're designing bad plays, or we're designing bad concepts. The facts are that there's some of that, but there's also some of execution. There's some of the talent. I like our talent. I really.
Uh-oh. Did y'all hear what Jerry Jones said? Hold on a second. And furthermore, with our poor play design, wait a minute. Let's rewind this. We're talking about Derrick Henry running the ball. Jerry Jones says that's not our scheme. Our scheme is built around holding your blocks. Our wide receivers fighting through defenders. Our wide receivers getting open. Jerry is saying two things at once, in a sense. Jerry is saying, we're a passing team. But not only are we a passing team, and not only would this not be conducive to Derrick Henry running with our offense, do I hear Troy Aikman starting to come out in the interview before Troy Aikman is brought up? Did Jerry Jones just say, did he just indict Mike McCarthy and say, we have poor play design? Jerry is in here tripping today. Jerry is in here tripping. I don't know if y'all hearing this. I don't know if y'all hearing this. Jerry in here tripping on Mike McCarthy. Derrick Henry couldn't be successful here. Our team's not playing well. Our coach is not designing plays well. Our scheme is this is crazy. Jerry is in here annihilating Mike McCarthy, and he's going to do it even further. He's going to do it even further. Let me do a few comments. Spider-Man said, Jerry, you're a radio gold. Didn't they tell him? They told him straight up. So, yeah, who is the most important part of the radio show? We had to get the pecking order right. There is no show without Jerry Jones. There is no show. Tell me what you want to. Nobody wants to hear Stephen Jones talk. We don't want to hear Mike McCarthy, as someone said, be artificial intelligence. I mean, we could literally record Mike McCarthy from 2 weeks ago and put it on today, block out the team name when he says it, and he would be given the same explanation for the loss. Angie said, Jerry running his mouth makes more money, draws attention. People better recognize. Because 105.3 The Fan running their mouth on Jerry Jones ain't making no money. It's making no money. Gene said, I'm sorry, I'm hearing Jerry's voice because nothing but BS has come out of his mouth for the last 30 years. And you know what's amazing? And people keep listening. That's the magic of Jerry Jones. It's the Jerry Jones show. This game is Sunday. This game Sunday is the Super Bowl. Ooh, man, you know what? You reminded me of something. And let me put this on my notes. I'm going to add something here to the agenda because I wanted to bring this up the other day and ask y'all about it. So this is going to come back, what you just said, because this is the same thought I had the other day. Angie said, this Sunday is the Super Bowl. Watch this. So I'm going to come back. That's going to be our last topic. I had to write it down so I don't forget it. But I'm telling us, Jerry is saying things, and it's like Jerry is setting things straight like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing going forward. No more of this nonsense of y'all joining in with the national media against me. We're going to work together on this. Seems to me like what Jerry told those radio announcers affected you people more than it did the two men Jerry was talking to. And I'm telling us, Freddie, Jerry is playing games, bro. Jerry know what he doing. Jerry know what he doing. That's why for me, when Jerry talk, let me tell y'all something. We're going to give Rain Dakota Prescott credit before it's all said and done. Dak Prescott said himself, nothing Jerry Jones says holds weight with me. He wasn't saying he's not listening to Jerry Jones. He followed that up and said, that's what Jerry Jones does. He brings attention to himself. He brings attention to the team. That's why everything Jerry Jones say, I'm like, y'all got to listen to Jerry Jones talk. If you listen, Jerry will tell you the truth. The problem is people don't like what he's saying. People don't get it. Jerry win when the Cowboys win or lose. Every single time. Every single time. That's why I'm telling you, man, there's levels to this stuff. Haters had nothing else to talk about. Nothing. Spider-Man said if Jerry left 105.3 and joined up with Beavis and Butthead would win the ratings. No doubt. Angie, Mahomes throws 8 interceptions. Nobody talks about it. Do you know, if I'm not mistaken, he's up to 10? And they still won the game. Make it make sense. Because he's got a team around him. And that's what people got to understand. And that's something that I'm thinking that Jerry Jones is attempting to put around Dak Prescott starting next year. Henry is his own blocker. Nisi, this man's stiff arm needs to be studied. I don't even know if his stiff arm is real. Freddie says, anyone notice that no one is blaming the players for the state of the team, but that all that heat is falling on Jerry? That man is playing chess while all of us playing checkers. Tell him, Freddie. Tell him. This man playing chess up in this piece. Someone said that last week. People don't understand the kind of man Jerry Jones is. And this is why, as much as I wouldn't want him to be my GM, I would want him to be my owner. because Jerry is a good man in the sense of the word. Jerry tries his best to protect his players. He takes care of his players off the field. Jerry does a lot of things for his players. And Jerry sees that this team is kind of reeling right now. So what does Jerry do? Jerry does what he did last week, and everybody's talking about Jerry more than they're talking about the shortcomings of the team. But unfortunately, Freddie, they got to play a game coming up on Sunday. And there will be nothing that Jerry Jones will be able to say if they get beat by the 49ers. Along with that, our defense always has us playing from behind. How much running would we be doing? Yes. A YouTuber's Okoye spoke on this no blocking. Yes. I'm telling us. Donald says, as soon as I say I'm a cowboy, I start a fire. Nisi said he doesn't know about Henry or Dalvin. He doesn't know about Henry or Dalvin Cook. Yes, we would. Angie said, I think he would with enough carries. You know what? I don't think he'd probably need as many carries. I mean, you know, when we look at Derrick Henry and what he's been doing, it's nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, because he only needs just an ounce of daylight. He'll take care of a cornerback. You ain't got to worry about a cornerback making a tackle on him. He make it past the line of scrimmage. You ain't got to worry about a cornerback. He'll knock him over to the other sideline. Derrick Henry will not be having the same success in Dallas that he is having in Baltimore. It hurts, but Jerry is right. I agree with you, Reggie. I agree with you. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be having some success, but when I show you Derrick Henry's stats, there is no way I believe that he would be doing this with the Dallas Cowboys in their current situation. Jerry sounds as if he drew up plays this summer and told Mike, use this. Man, Angie said Jerry holding Dalvin Cook hostage. I'm hoping we have a Dalvin Cook sighting this week. Gregory says, sure, it makes sense because he's justifying his lack of movement in the offseason. He didn't want to do any. Jerry and the Cowboys' real offensive coordinator and head coach. Donald Moore said, I live in Buffalo. They hate the Cowboys. You better believe it, especially after them Super Bowls. Hold on, Cowboys fans. Jerry is finding a way to get Killer. Don't do that, niece. Man, Killer Moore came back. I don't know what I would do. Dak treats Jerry Jones talking like that uncle we all have to go. Exactly. Jerry know him. Dak know him. Facts, Freddie. Yes, Jerry know him. Jerry Jones does what he wants. And I'm telling y'all, the football world is waiting for the Sunday night game. I'm telling you something. They're holding their breath. They can't wait, boy. They can't wait for that Sunday night game. They can't wait for it. And either way, watch this. Either way, the media is going to win. You know why? Because if the Cowboys win, they should have won. San Francisco decimated. They're not going to say nothing about how we're missing our players. The Cowboys lose, they double win. They're going to destroy the Cowboys that Monday. They're not even going to wait till Monday. They're going to start Sunday night, and they're going to take it all the way to the next game. You ever notice? No team gets rolled like the Cowboys. Teams ride the Dallas Cowboys all the way to the next Dallas Cowboys game, and that's exactly what they're going to do. All right, let's hear some more Jerry. I got all your comments.
We do like our talent. I like our young talent, but young talent has a few more mistakes associated with it than if you are dealing with a veteran player. Although you've got to have young talent, as I've said. Derrick Henry didn't fit because principally of managing the cap.
If you want to learn how to edit really well from professional Hollywood editors.
So I want you to hear what he said, because a lot of people, again, got in their feelings because Jerry said he did not fit according to the cap. But Jerry is answering the question within he's answering the question within the statement. Jerry is saying he likes the young guys they have. And he doesn't plan on bringing in anybody because they're going to build this team from the draft. And so what he's saying, he don't fit in cap-wise. It's not that they couldn't afford him. Listen to what Jerry says.
Really, from every one of us, need.
Really wanted to refocus or address during the bye week?
Well, we need to really, from going to sign weeks later, our anticipation of the players we're going to be signing in the future, of managing the cap, in anticipation of the players that we were going to sign weeks later, our anticipation of the players we're going to be signing in the future.
You catch that? You catch that? Jerry is saying it's not this year that would have been the problem. It's what they were going to do next year. And you know what? I want y'all, I'm going to interrupt just for a moment because he's about to get off of Derrick Henry. Because when I look at the contract that Derrick Henry got, I hadn't looked at Derrick Henry's contract, but I want you to see the contract that the Baltimore Ravens gave him. See, Jerry Jones is rebuilding, and even rebuilding in a sense, Dak Prescott is got 4 years after this year. So the players that he gets starting next year, they're going to be on Dak Prescott's either next extension, depending upon how he's playing. And I promise you, if Dak is 34 and still balling, he probably not going to get a huge deal because by that time, there will be a salary cap on quarterbacks. Y'all do know they're talking about a salary cap on quarterbacks, right? So by that time, there will be a salary cap on quarterbacks, and Dak Prescott will probably be 34. He's built this nice, he's rebuilding this nice crib over in Prosper, Texas. Dak Prescott isn't going to want to move. He'll probably pull a Tom Brady and play for half of what a quarterback is worth once he hit that 35 age. So even the players Jerry Jones is going to get next year and beyond, they will be towards building the team of the future, and possibly he might not even see. So Jerry Jones is saying that Derrick Henry's contract didn't fit in with what they're not only what they're doing this year, but what they're wanting to do in the years going forward. Look at Derrick Henry's contract. Derrick Henry's contract. Derrick Henry's contract, 2024, 2025. He's 30, he'll be 31 next year. His base salary for 2024 is $1.2 million. His base salary for 2025 is $6 million. But watch this. The prorated signing bonus, $3.8 million, both 2024, 2025. That knocks that up to somewhere around $5 million for this year. So Derrick Henry's cap number this year, $5 million, dead money, all that $9 million, don't quite understand it. But next year, look at this. This doesn't fit in with Jerry. If Jerry, and what people aren't understanding, if Jerry could have got Derrick Henry on a 1-year rental to where basically, I'll tell you, okay, we'll pay you 1 year, $8 million, because that's what I was thinking, that the deal was 1 year, $8 million. But it's not. It's 2 years, $15 million. 2025 base salary, $6 million. Prorated signing bonus, got to keep that going. That's $10 million. Roster bonus, $11 million. Cap number, $10.9 million basically. Jerry said no can do. So this isn't about just Derrick Henry for 2024. What Jerry was saying is, we don't want to carry Derrick Henry 2024, 2025, which is exactly what the Baltimore Ravens are going to do. The Baltimore Ravens, no matter how you look at it, the Baltimore Ravens are going to pay him $10 million. Now, it says guaranteed salary. So I'm assuming in some form of fashion, they could cut him. But I got a strange feeling they're not going to cut him, because no matter what, they're still going to be on the hook. Now, because see, they're still on the hook for that signing bonus. They're still on the hook for that signing bonus. So I guess they could cut him and not do the $6 million. But Jerry is saying something. We didn't even want to, and I guess it is kind of $8 million-ish guaranteed, but Jerry is saying we didn't even want to do that. We didn't want to do $5 million this year guaranteed and then another $4 million guaranteed next year. Jerry is saying we want every single dollar to go toward what we are doing for the future. What we are doing for the future. And I got a strange feeling Derrick Henry is probably going to see that money for the Baltimore Ravens, because the way he's playing right now, man, the Baltimore Ravens would be absolutely crazy if they don't finish this contract. Derrick Henry easily looks like he has 2 years. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm Jerry, I'm not Jerry Jones, but if I'm Jerry Jones, I would have been willing to pay Derrick Henry those 2 years. And the reason why I would have willingly paid Derrick Henry those years is because of this. Now, for those of you who are, those of you on the radio, you can't hear these stats, but Derrick Henry through, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Derrick Henry through 7 games has rushed for a whopping 873 yards. Derrick Henry has 134 attempts, 873 yards. Y'all ready for this? This man has 6.5 yards per carry. And you know why? This man is, I think he ran for an 81-yarder last night. This man is breaking off long run after long run. It's insane what this man is doing. It's insane. This man has 8 touchdowns on the season. This man got as many touchdowns as Dak Prescott and our running game combined almost. Derrick Henry has been a force this season. It is literally insane what this man is doing. And I want you to think about this. So last year with the Titans, this man had 280 attempts, 1,167 yards. Now, let's let this tell us what Jerry Jones was telling us. Even though Henry had 1,167 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, 12 TDs, he ran almost 300 times to get that. So the question is, how many times would he have to run to do that with the Dallas Cowboys? But it's telling you something about the Ravens. I mean, if you look at his last 2 seasons, 2023, let's look at 2022. Look at this, 349 carries, 1,538 yards, 4.4 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns. That workload is insane. They were running Derrick Henry into the ground. Derrick Henry might not even get 200 carries this year, because at the rate he's running, the yards he's picking up while he's running, this man may be able to get 200 carries or 210 carries, and he's going to surpass 1,167 yards. You keep playing, Derrick Henry might mess around and get a 2,000-yard season. Woo! I'm telling y'all, I see both sides of this argument. It would be hard. I'd be hard pressed. I would be hard pressed to pass up Derrick Henry doing what he's doing right now. I'd be hard pressed. I don't know about y'all. I would be hard pressed. And I don't care what Jerry Jones is saying. Man, when I'm looking every time, I'm having nightmares every time I see Derrick Henry running the football, because I'm like, wow. And I tell you somebody else who don't agree with him. How much y'all bet Rain Dakota Prescott don't agree with Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott is actually a play action quarterback. If Dak Prescott had Derrick Henry, and I'm not saying he would be running like he is now, but I got a strange feeling he would still be better than what we have right now. I'm saying the funny thing is, I think that people are overly criticizing Jerry Jones about this, what he's saying, and whether we agree or not, it seems like there was a lot of thinking, and contrary to what we may think, Jerry gave a lot of thinking to this thing as it applies to Derrick Henry. But I'll put this down in the description, because I want to move to just two more things that he said in here, I'll react all night to this thing with Jerry Jones in this interview. It is gold. It is gold. But I want you to hear something he says right here at 8:50. 8:50. And let me read a couple comments, then we'll go 8:50. What did Angie say? Angie said, Jerry said he's the real coach and Steven is the assistant coach. Nisi said, then this team is really doomed then. Angie said, you see the team state now. You know what? Dak would be lighting it up when Henry was here. I agree with you. I think because of the threat of Derrick Henry, the play action would still be there. I think the threat of Derrick Henry, it immediately creates play action passes. Because everyone knows Derrick Henry can take you to the crib at a moment's notice. At a moment's notice, he can take you to the crib. And if there's going to be some cornerbacks, safeties, don't worry about them. Just get him past the line of scrimmage. Derrick Henry can even take care of some linebackers because he's bigger than most of them in the league. So, you know what, though, Angie, I'm telling you. You said something. The state of the team now. This is another reason why I'm reserving judgment about this team. It's only game 7 for them. I mean, we don't know what they're going to look like. The Cowboys, I still believe the Cowboys are going to win at least 10 games. I believe they're going to get 10 games. And so I'm going to wait. I'm going to enjoy the football season, and I'm going to wait and see what this team looks like at the end of the season. Because I think that's what Jerry Jones is saying. Jerry Jones is saying, before you be so judgmental, I've done some wrong things, I've done some right things. Let's see how it turns out. And in case I don't get to it, let me see if I got it on here. Because he said something in this interview, and I'm gonna play it. But Jerry said something in this interview that I absolutely love, and I give him credit for. Jerry said that when sometimes you make a decision and it's right, some are right and some wrong. And in paraphrasing, he said, what good does it do to dwell on what's wrong? He said the focus is when you do something wrong, you work on trying to make it right, or you work on trying to make it work. Now, that don't apply in a lot of situations from my perspective, but I do understand he's saying it's kind of like if I go the wrong direction, rather than me arguing all the way in the wrong direction and keep on going in the wrong direction, well, why don't I find the next exit and I turn around and then let's see if we can get back on track. And so Jerry is saying something. I want y'all to just sit back and watch, and y'all gonna see what I see in these young players. Because Jerry is saying
obviously
something. Jerry is saying, I trust the talent that we have. But I want to put us up around 8:50. Around 8:50, because Jerry is saying some other stuff. Not a doubt in my mind. What's up, No Cap? No Cap. I got some 49er stuff for you here towards the end, boy. I got some 49er stuff for you. Man, Henry on Dallas would look nasty. I would have been sick to my stomach. I'm telling you. I mean, just the threat of him, I think, would have been good for Dak in the play action. I would have signed Henry based on State Farm commercial. He's out there flipping refrigerators. Man, this man out there flipping refrigerators, and his workout is crazy. Giants won a Super Bowl. Their record was 9-7. Packers won in 2010. That's what I thought. They were 10-6. 49ers made the NFC Championship game at 10-7 and 2021 record. Don't matter. Just get in the playoffs. I agree. And so I want you to hear what he says here at around 8:50 mark, because it's actually pretty funny.
A thorn in the side for you guys. Is this a game you would consider a measuring stick type game, or a must-win game potentially for where you guys are at this season?
Listen, we're 3-3, and we all saw it. and we know how we ended up beating Cleveland. We know what we didn't do against New Orleans. We know what we did do against Pittsburgh. You can take all of that. You know, all that counts is what we're doing out here next week against San Francisco and the games after that. Can we be a better team? Can we be, let's say, have better field position in the overall schemes? I'm not talking about really being out on the field. But can we get ourselves where we don't have some things happen to us like happened to us the other day and we get run out of the stadium? Yes, we can. Of course we can. And I remember when I changed and went to Jason Garrett, and we were 1-7. And basically we had the same difference in the score against Green Bay. It was exactly the same difference as against Detroit. And we go up to New York and we win that game the week we changed out the coaching. Now, I've regretted making that change, just so you know. If I had that to do over again, I might not have done it. What I'd love to have done is sit down and talk to Wade when Wade came in and said, we needed a better defense. I need to find me a defensive coordinator, and I'm the best defensive coordinator I know. Well, he is, because all he did was go over to Denver, and I've never heard this in the NFL, but people around the league said they won that Super Bowl because of coaching, Wade Phillips.
This is more than...
Did y'all hear what Jerry Jones said? He said two things I want you to hear that you might not have heard between the lines. They asked Jerry Jones, was this a must win? Can I give us the answer that he really gave? He said no. Excuse me. Do y'all know Jerry Jones said this isn't a must win? And the reason why, contextually, I know he said it's not a must win, because watch what Jerry Jones is doing. If y'all don't think Jerry Jones is smarter than we're giving him credit for, you're losing your mind. He's anticipating the questions that will come if they lose to the San Francisco 49ers. The question is, will you fire Mike McCarthy if you lose the game against the San Francisco 49ers? Will you fire Mike McCarthy? Can I help you know? Can I tell you how I know what his answer is? I regretted firing Wade Wilson. I regretted Wade Phillips. I regretted firing Wade Phillips when we were 1-7. Y'all remember why he did it? Because the young prodigy who's no longer even in coaching, the young prodigy, Jason Garrett, who was Kellen Moore before Kellen Moore, the young prodigy who was going to take the league by storm, who is now who's now a broadcaster. He had the head coach in waiting. He was paying Jason Garrett almost. Jerry does this from time to time. He got a guy that he wants to be the coach, and he's paying him top dollar. He was itching to get Garrett. And what happens? He fired Wade Phillips, and he regretted it. And now he's saying, and he regretted it because he didn't listen to Wade Phillips. Y'all want to hear how smart Jerry Jones is? He said he wished he'd have listened when Wade said he needed a defensive coordinator. And he's the best defensive coordinator he knows. He wished he would have listened. He's blaming himself. And he's saying something about Mike McCarthy that folk cannot hear, refuse to hear, or don't want to hear. Y'all know why he's not firing Mike McCarthy? Because Jerry knows what he did to the team. How can Jerry, with a good conscience, fire Mike McCarthy and then do nothing in free agency? How can he do it with a good conscience? How can he, with a good conscience, let go of Mike McCarthy? Knowing full well he let go of all pro players. He let go of great players. Stephon Gilmore comes to mind. He let go of Tyron Smith comes to mind. I mean, you could go down the line of people that he let go just simply from last year. Can he really hold Mike McCarthy that accountable when it's him who has made the decisions to where Mike McCarthy is in the situation that he's in? He decided to go with 2 rookies on the offensive line. That's Jerry Jones, not Mike McCarthy. He decided to go with this receiving core. He decided to bring back Ezekiel Elliott. He decided to not do Derrick Henry and go with Rico Dowdle. Jerry decided that. Do y'all hear what Jerry Jones is saying? He's anticipatory. He is saying, I regret it. Well, wait, 3 things. This is not a must-win game. That's why he didn't say it is. He didn't say Mike McCarthy's job is on the line. He is anticipating what's going to be said if they don't win Sunday night. And he's implying, I regretted what I did with Wade Phillips, and I won't do it to Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy can come to me just like I should have listened to Wade Phillips and said, you left me decimated, Jerry. What am I to do? Y'all better listen to Jerry, man. Y'all better listen to Jerry Jones. Jerry knows exactly what he is talking about. He knows what he's talking about. We act like Jerry dumb, man. Jerry is playing. Man, I'm a Star Trek. I'm what they call a Trekkie. Man, I saw Dr. Spock one time. Y'all talking about people playing chess, not checkers. Man, I saw Dr. Spock playing chess from outer space. Man, they were playing chess on 3 boards. Jerry Jones ain't just playing chess. He playing chess on 3 planes. Jerry on 3 planes in this thing. We on 1 board. Jerry on this one, and this one. If you listen to Jerry Jones, I've learned to listen to him over the years. This man be saying stuff in between the lines. And the problem is because folks always use him as a headline, they're not getting what he's saying between the lines. And so I want to take you to another part. Boy, this is my favorite part right here. Jerry Jones has already insulted Mike McCarthy, we mentioned earlier, when he talked about poor play design. And so now there's an issue with this thing about Troy Aikman. And now they want to ask Jerry Jones about the Troy Aikman issue. What is his take on Troy Aikman? You can only guess what his response is about Troy Aikman, but I'm going to let him say it before I respond.
In y'all's film study, did you see any of that in a RJ and RJ 105.3 The Fan, as Choppy would like it to be renamed? Jerry, what did you think of Troy Aikman's wide receiver comments about route running? And in y'all's film study, did you see any of that and agree with any of what Troy said?
Troy knows football. My goodness, he lives it. When he was here, he's one of the most astute and hardworking people I've ever seen.
Did y'all hear that? Jerry said Troy Aikman knows football. Jerry said Troy Aikman knows football. And do you notice what he did earlier? He said there is poor play design. Y'all remember what I told you yesterday? Folk think he's just talking about the route running. He's also talking about the routes. If they're running poor routes, there's a difference in running routes poorly and running poor routes. They could be running routes poorly. They are running some of those routes poorly. CeeDee Lamb does need to run routes better, but they're also running bad routes. Y'all hear what Jerry Jones is saying? Troy Aikman got credibility. I don't have to tell you what I saw. I believe what Troy saw. I believe what Troy saw. Watch him tell you what I told you yesterday about Troy Aikman. Why is Troy Aikman watching film on the Dallas Cowboys and he don't even have them coming up? Because Troy Aikman loves the Dallas Cowboys. Listen to what Jerry says.
At evaluating tape or looking at how a team is playing. Troy's credible, boy, and should be. And not only that, you can imagine he's not just interested in taking a whack at the Cowboys. He feels as much or more than anybody does about the Cowboys. He's very professional. I think he's very fair. And certainly you can look at what we've been doing. You can look at such things as the separation compared to other teams. That's that analytics that you work with today. But fundamentally, I was talking with Mike, and our players need to work on, when they've got tight coverage, they need to work on pushing on through physical contact, pushing on through it. Now, that's just an example. That's not the only thing.
Did I not say the same thing last week and yesterday? Did I not say the same thing? They're not fighting through. They're not fighting through the route. CeeDee Lamb is not fighting whenever they're trying to jam him. He's not fighting through the defender. When Dak throws it underthrown, or if Dak throws it to the wrong side, the problem with CeeDee, he's not trying to get to the ball. CeeDee could have easily contested both of those interceptions in the red zone. Even if they were not going to be touchdowns, CeeDee could have contested them, but he didn't. Y'all hear what he said? Troy Aikman is credible. Let me bring y'all's attention to something. Got an article here. Let me see here. I got an article here. And this article is absolutely astounding. Let me see. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah. Here it is. So in this article on the Athlon, I want y'all to see, for y'all who can see on your screens. Y'all remember when we went over Mike McCarthy's press conference yesterday? Let me read it for the folk who listening. Let me tell you what Mike McCarthy's response was. When Nick Harris, I think his name, asked him, "What do you think about Troy Aikman's comments?" Mike McCarthy said, "They don't carry weight with me because I watch all the tape. I get to go to the meetings. I'm at practice. I'm a part of the games. So I have a clear understanding of what and where. Troy's statements in particular, I don't agree with the word selection because it's hurting my team's feelings." That's not in there. That's me adding that. "There is definitely need for improvement in every position, not just one position that he commented on. Ooh, let's not hurt people's feelings." Jerry Jones is hurting people's feelings. Jerry Jones is hurting people's feelings, in particular Mike McCarthy. Are y'all listening? Jerry Jones not only agreed with Troy Aikman once, he agreed with him twice. Y'all heard what he said? Troy is credible. Boy, anybody familiar with Sade? Sade used to be she's one of the greatest artists ever. One of the greatest artists, especially in the 80s and the 90s, I believe it is. She had a song called Smooth Operator. Do y'all know Jerry Jones is a smooth operator? Jerry Jones is sitting here while Mike McCarthy says that it don't hold weight. You don't think Jerry Jones heard those comments? Jerry Jones just told 105.3 The Fan, I actually hear y'all comments when I'm not on here. Y'all don't think he know what Mike McCarthy said on DallasCowboys.com? You don't think it got back to him that he said that Troy Aikman's comments don't hold weight? Y'all remember what Jerry Jones said last week? Wait a cotton picking minute. Hold on a second. I'm about to crush Mike McCarthy. Your play calling is trash. Poor play design. Trash. What do you think about Troy Aikman's statements? He didn't come to the rescue of Mike McCarthy. He didn't come to the rescue of the team. He said, Troy Aikman, his statements carry weight with me. And then he goes on to say Troy is credible. And then says he's very astute. Did y'all hear what he almost said? He said Troy is but then he said he likes the Cowboys, but he's fair. You didn't hear what he said, almost said, did you? Troy Aikman is vested in the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy should have never fixed his mouth to say something that crazy. Don't you dare say when Troy Aikman says something, don't you dare say this man who played quarterback at a high level in the NFL, don't you dare say what he say don't carry weight with me. It need to be. It need to be carrying weight, Mike McCarthy, because I'll tell you this. Troy Aikman don't write them checks. But Jerry Jones write them checks. He might not fire you during the season. And it seems like he's leaning towards no matter what you do, he's going to respectfully allow you to finish the season. But make no mistake about it. Jerry Jones just said something. Are y'all hearing it? What Troy Aikman says does carry weight around here. It does carry weight. Listen to this. I'm not done. Well, listen to this.
But I'm pretty confident that we've got the ability to coach, and we've got some receivers that take the coaching and can improve. That's the big thing. Improve.
Wait a minute. We got the coaching. We got the receivers that'll take the coaching, and we will and can improve. Guess who he just threw that back in the lap of? Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. I said it yesterday. This on Mike McCarthy. What Troy Aikman is talking about is on Mike McCarthy. What Dak Prescott has been saying, we need to practice harder. And then Mike McCarthy comes back and says, well, we practice hard according to the global positioning system. And we're strapping these things on the people and we're monitoring them in practice. Are you monitoring them in the game? Do you strap these things on them in the game so you can see what kind of effort they're giving? You're saying that they're up year over year. They're up over 22 and 23 when you were 16-0 at home. Not translating on the field, is it? Your machines are not translating on the field, Mike McCarthy. Your analytics, they're not translating on the field. All these people are talking about Mike McCarthy. That's who they're talking about. Now, we got Kevontae Turpin. Kevontae Turpin decides that he is going to get in the mix, and he is also going to try to clap back at Troy Aikman. Y'all don't think that Jerry Jones knows what Kevontae Turpin said? Let me show you what Kevontae Turpin said. It says, to this point, the Cowboys have failed on that objective and should not be absolved of such criticism, even as they reject Aikman's critique. Oh, so we got people in their feelings. They're saying what Troy Aikman is saying is not true when we can all go look at the tape and know what he's saying is true. That's why he said, I'd look at the tape. Said Kevontae Turpin. Troy, whatever he fake thinks he knows from outside the building, that's his opinion. But in this, we all in here together. We just trying to be better and do what we do to get a win. Y'all know what's so good about sports? You don't have to be in the building to know what Troy Aikman said. Now, Troy Aikman don't know what's going on inside the building. Troy Aikman actually said that Dak Prescott may look at this and say that I'm wrong. But Troy says, but from my perspective, from playing high-level quarterback in this league, winning 3 Super Bowls, playing with superstars, playing against some of the best teams to ever play the game, with what y'all are putting on tape, Kevontae Turpin. He didn't say with what y'all are putting in the locker room. He said with what you're putting on tape. Dak Prescott can't work with that. Dak Prescott cannot work with that. And I'm going to show y'all somebody. Somebody who gets a whole lot of criticism. It's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has a podcast on Bleacher called, I forgot the name. It's called The Edge. I'm sorry, it's called The Edge. I want y'all to hear what Micah Parsons said. And I absolutely love his response. Let's roll it.
The Bay, so it's going to be super exciting. And, you know, during the bye week, we hear a bunch of stuff, and, you know, you hear guys like some of the OGs, Troy Aikman, saying, you know, the routes are terrible. You got everyone throwing their opinions out. But here's the truth, right? We're coming in, we're 3-3. It's the even slate at this point. I just think nothing else matters. The only thing that matters is just getting better. How can we get ready to beat the San Francisco 49ers? How do we look at the film, break down, and self-scout and say, hey, we got to be better. We need to be better. And this is how we do it. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I give everyone an opinion, right? We hear good opinions, we hear bad opinions. But at the end of the day, the only opinion matters, and I was saying this before, is the people in the room. There's not one person that's going to change the score and the outcomes of some of the games we've done seen. There's not one person we can grab, trade for, whatever that can change the outcome. It's got to come within. It got to be the people in the room, people, you know, our coaches, all our players, all our staff, to come together and say, hey, we got to turn this around. It's not one person. It's not 2 people. It takes a whole team, the culture. That's what the Pride Zone is, the culture. Can't listen to the outside noise, whether it's good or bad, because we've seen it. When the Cowboys win, it's hallelujahs. And then when we lose, we're the worst team in the world. You know, it's a big slope. So at the end of the day, you know, you just got to listen to them. And then, you know, it's tough because obviously we all look up to Troy, and, you know, we all respect and validate, you know, people we look up to's opinions. But, you know, I just think I'd rather hear Troy, you know, tell the players that, you know, come around the facility more, be around. I understand you got your job and everything, but tell that to the players. Tell them how they can get better. I just feel like sometimes you just take alternate approach, because I'm pretty sure if Troy had some advice or gave some, you know, CD some advice, he will, you know, take it full-heartedly. When D-Word texts me and say, hey, you need to start doing this, you need to incorporate this in your game, I'm like, all right, I bet. Because obviously he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the great ones. I love getting that information, adding to my toolbox. At the end of the day, I don't think all opinions are just, you know, to attack. It's always to help, you know, make you better. I think Troy was coming from a good place, but I just think, you know, how the media is, they going to word it wrong. But I would just say is just, you know, give that feedback to the players. You know, we all need it. We care, obviously, about what Troy has done for the Cowboys organization. He's won Super Bowls. He's a champion here. We would love to get that insight in the facility. You know, let's move on. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Mahomes moves to 5-0.
Let me tell y'all something. I don't care what anyone says about this man's podcast. This young man right here, this young man that everybody keeps talking about, he's a distraction with his podcast. This man just spoke so much wisdom, and I'm calling him a young man. That's a man statement. That junk that Mike McCarthy said, do you hear how smart this man is? It's called emotional intelligence. He said that Troy Aikman is not coming from a bad place. I don't think he was either. But I also love what he did. Did y'all hear what he did? He challenged Troy Aikman. He challenged him. Come in the building more. come in the building and say that stuff. Come in the building and say that to our players. Come in the building and say that to CeeDee Lamb. We respect what you've done. Unlike a lot of these young folk who be talking dumb stuff, talking about we're done with the 90s. How you going to be done with the 90s? You can't be done with anything you wasn't born in. You don't get to erase the history. You don't get to erase the history of the franchise. And shame on Mike McCarthy. I'm going to give Cavante Turpin the pass. He's just trying to do what he know to do. He's trying to defend the team. He's immature. He's young. Wisdom don't always come with age. But what this dude did, what Michael Parsons did, that's wisdom. Don't you dare fix your mouth to talk bad about Troy Aikman. Do you not know what this man did? That's what Michael Parsons said. Y'all want to know why Mike McCarthy can't motivate this team? He ain't even smart enough to do what Michael Parsons did. Don't you dare say when they ask you about Troy Aikman, don't you dare fix your mouth to that media and say, what Troy Aikman said don't hold weight. What? It ought to be holding a ton with you. You should have had emotional intelligence and say, hold on a second. I know I want to spare my team, but let me not say anything that's going to be negative towards Troy Aikman. Why didn't he do what Michael Parsons did? Michael Parsons, man, I remember this. DeMarcus Ware. Speaking out DeMarcus Ware in this thing with him and Michael Parsons. And him sending something to Michael Parsons. And DeMarcus Ware, he kind of did it a little bit the same like Troy did too. DeMarcus Ware kind of spoke out on social media, talking about some of these things about them and about Michael in particular. But he also reached out to him personally. And Michael Parsons, he respects men who have come before him and done it, who have done it on the biggest stage. Troy Aikman has done it on the biggest stage. And he's still doing it on the big stage. He is still one of the top broadcasters in this game. Don't you dare, Mike McCarthy. Don't you dare fix your mouth and say what this man says don't hold weight. Because the moment you say that, there is nothing that you can say from that point forward that holds weight with anybody else. There are people who lost respect for Mike McCarthy when he said that. It's insanity to say that about Troy Aikman. Don't you dare do that. Man, I'm giving Michael Parsons, man, people say anything they want to say about this young man. Talking about how his podcast is a distraction. I'm sorry. He just said one of the most wise things he could not only say to the media. He could not only say to his owner. He could not only say to his coach, watch what Michael Parsons just did. And to my team, to CeeDee Lamb, to our wide receivers. Don't last shot at Troy Aikman. Do y'all know who this man is? Y'all know what he's done? Y'all know he loves this team? He's not coming from a bad place. You know what? He caught himself, but he said, listen. That's exactly what you do. There are certain folk that when they say things, I'm not listening. I'm not listening to haters. I mean, for the most part, with haters, they're not even objective a lot of times. They're very subjective. But when I know somebody loves what I love, they've been a part of what I'm a part of, and they're speaking from a place that they know we can do better, should be doing better, I'm going to listen. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to listen. The Bible says, be slow to speak and quick to listen. I just wonder what Mike McCarthy is thinking now. Michael Parsons came out. Dak Prescott's been indicting him without indicting him. Jerry Jones just come out and cold crushed on Mike McCarthy, y'all. Cold crushed on him. Jerry Jones just basically said, you better believe what Troy Aikman says carries weight with me and this franchise. Somebody mentioned this in the chat a couple of days ago. And I believe that Jerry Jones, this is something that I believe that Jerry Jones should do more of in the future. Jerry, pay the Michael Irvins. Don't ask him to do it for free. Pay the Michael Irvins. Could you come to training camp this year? We're going to give you an all-expense paid trip to Oxnard, California. Could you come out to training camp this year? Troy Aikman, we want you to come out this year and work with Dak Prescott. Even if you're not working, just kind of mentor him around a little bit. Just be in his ear a little bit. Tell him what you see. Emmitt Smith, could you be a part of our running back room? I mean, we're not asking you to coach, but could you just come in and mentor some of these guys? Tell them some of the things they need to be looking for. Tell them what they see. Could you do that for us? Bring in some of these players like Darren Woodson. Bring these guys in. Bring in DeMarcus Ware. Charles Haley hangs around. Bring in Deion Sanders. Bring in some of these guys. Bring them in. Man, Michael Parsons said something so wise. I'm telling y'all, it is mind-blowing to me that he exercised that kind of wisdom. It's insane to me. Let me go to some of these comments. I'll see if we can catch up. I'm pretty sure I'm way far behind. It was said that Kyle scolded Purdy for 5 minutes after the game. After the game, they were taking one-on-one. Purdy shook his head after getting chewed out. I think Dallas needs their coach to have that energy. And the question is, will Jerry let him have that energy? So Jerry actually saw what Troy was talking about. Oh, you better believe he did. Man, this Troy Aikman speaking. Jerry know who Troy Aikman is. Jerry know who Troy is. I'm reading in between the lines. Troy, you trying to take my spot. Carl said, gee, this just hit me. San Francisco delete on defense, but we deleted on San Francisco depleted on defense, but we depleted on offense in a sense. No running game, no blocking, etc. Oh, I'm about to go there in just a second. I'm about to go there, Carl. They still got their defense, San Francisco. You better believe they do, and that's why we're going to cover that before we get out of here. Nisi, Troy brought me 3 Super Bowls. Mike, hush. Mike McCarthy, we appreciate you. 3 straight 12 game winning seasons. We appreciate you. But you ain't won us not one playoff game. And until you can get us one, we ain't saying you got to get out of here, but you need to be listening when men like that are talking. Freddie said, no cap, look, man, these are grown men getting paid millions. Kids game, if any one of these players need another grown man to scold him and get them to play better, they don't deserve to be in sports. You know what? I agree, but then at the same time, some people need it, man. They need to kick in the pants. And you know what? I'm going to say this, Freddie, because I know exactly where you're coming from. You gave us a great story the other day. But I'm going to tell you something, Freddie, about the Dallas Cowboys. Because the Dallas Cowboys have become about brand building. Sometimes they're not understanding what's important. They should be, but they're not understanding what's important because they're all about that brand building. Angie said, Mike got his peanuts towards Troy, but nothing else is mine. You better believe it. Boy, if he could say some of them things, you know, he quick to stand in front of the media and try to say what Troy says don't hold weight. Boy, I wish you could do that in your locker room. I wish you could do that in your locker room. How does Turpin enter the Star? Does he jump the fence? That man has 3 Super Bowls in his building. Listen to the elder and learn. Boy, I could teach somebody about boy Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Man, you better learn how to listen to them old seasoned men who done been there and done it. We ain't talking about somebody just sitting on the couch. Podcast Parson. Hey, you know what? Boy, he spoke volumes there though, didn't he, Angie? Michael is too much with the podcast. You know what? Man, I tell you, though, he spoke some wisdom right there. Turpin came from the UFL, right? Yep, he sure did. Aikman should be the head coach or general manager. I would love to see Troy Aikman in that front office, and even as a coach. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Dak Prescott could call his own plays. And I believe Troy Aikman could have called his own plays, even though they would have been simple with that running game, run right, run left, run up the middle. I mean, it's not a whole lot. Because they were so dominant, but Troy knew the game too. Troy knows the game. You can tell by the way he broadcasts. Troy could be a coach. I don't know. I'm going to tell you something though, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if the NFL ready. I don't know if the Bill Bates, and I know you're not the real Bill Bates, but we know how Bill Bates was and that era was. Man, I'm telling you something. I don't know, man. I don't know if this league could handle a Troy Aikman. It's the very reason why Deion Sanders said he'll never coach professional football. I would love for Irvin and Dez to come and talk to the receivers. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna do a story in the offseason. I wish Dez would come around the star and hang around the team. But boy, let me tell y'all something. Dez Bryant's son gonna be a beast. He gonna be better than Dez Bryant. Dez is teaching his son, man. Woo! Man, I done seen some film on Dez's son, but I digress. Bill Bates, this is one of his productive podcasts. Yep, for real. For real. Got to give him credit where credit is due. Troy got to talk to Dak about being more vocal. That's why I said, too. I believe that Troy, I wish Troy could hang around Dak Prescott. Gene says Turpin's star process reads to be quiet. He called a 3-time Super Bowl winner fake. What's fake about a 3-time Super Bowl winner? He got to help me with that one. I didn't even understand what the statement went. That's the mentality of the team. They actually think they're better than what's being shown on Sunday. You better say it, Gene. Bill says Aikman has to talk to Dak about handling pressure on the field more than anything else. Yes. Angie says Sean Lee should be added as a coach. Oh, man. I'm shocked that Sean Lee is not coaching for the Dallas Cowboys somewhere. I'm shocked. Sean Lee, if that dude could have stayed healthy, first ballot Hall of Famer. Why can't each and every player motivate themselves? Because everybody's not built like that. Some men have all the talent, Freddie, but not all they have all the talent, but not all the mentality. I see them all the time. I see them all the time in everyday life, not just sports. Revelation said Jerry Jones be like, boy, don't you know I'm captain of the NFL? I throw icebergs on the ocean and not even God can sink me, boy. Boy, you crazy. Bill Bates said McCarthy couldn't carry Aikman's jockstrap. You better say it. Yes, he should be injured. I would love that. Oh, yeah, for sure. Sunny Day says, sounds like this team could use some good mentors. Yep. Motivators to come there and talk to them. Coach is cool because he respects their personal time, gives them a long leash, but not motivating. And see, going back to something Freddie is saying, I think Freddie could be one of those people that could be a mentor because sometimes men need to be told, you got to find something within, especially men who are immensely talented. Roberta said, I know who Troy is. Hey, amen. I do too. And Mike McCarthy need to understand who Troy is too. I agree. The players should be able to motivate themselves. However, it is very beneficial to get game from past players who's been where they are trying to go. Yeah. And this is Mike McCarthy's problem. Mike McCarthy is still trying to do what he did in the 90s. Ask Jerry Jones. That ain't working. I'm sorry, in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, not working. Bill Bates, yep, say it. Jerry Jones should let the triplets talk to him. Yeah. For real, yes. Bring him in. Because if I'm not mistaken, Michael Irvin, they let him come on before the games and have a pre-recorded video of him doing those motivational speeches. There's a reason. Michael Irvin used to do that stuff for the team. He used to do that stuff for the team. So it would help. It would help if they would. Maybe that's what this team needs. But we'll see what Jerry does in the future. Gene says Troy doesn't like the way everyone is bashing his former organization. He helped continue his legacy, and to see these knuckleheads ruin it and look a ham is aggravating. Oh, yeah, he loves the team. Yes, he does know who Troy is. Maurice says, yo, that would be a great idea if they came to camp and mentor young guys. Show them how it was in the 90s. For Freddie says, you want for someone to talk to Dak, why not ask the GOAT to talk to him? Woo! Boy, I'd love for Roger Staubach to talk to him. Love for Roger Staubach to talk to him. Emmitt Smith brought us 3 Super Bowls. That man was all heart. All heart. Carl said, hey, G, it's that Aaron Rodgers factor that hurting Mike. Yep. I see Troy being a John Lynch type of GM. For sure. Bill Belichick the GM for GM my Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. Cowboys Nation. I'm at Kyle Cap on you on that one. Bill Belichick did nothing before Tom Brady, nothing after Tom Brady, and absolutely ruined that Patriot team after Tom Brady. He couldn't do nothing personnel-wise. And better be afraid to bring him in here, because if you do, you better pick his coaches. Because he'll bring his son on and bring all his friends on, and it'll be a mess like it was in New England. I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't want no part of Bill Belichick. No part of Bill Belichick. He ain't shown nothing outside of Tom Brady. Roberto said, I believe Jerry hired Mike because he won one Super Bowl and grabbed him. Jerry needs to wake up. Yep, I actually believe that Jerry needs to probably get younger in his coaching staff. Turpin is one that headed up that win party. Yep, he headed up that win party before even winning the playoff game and got sent home. I remember that. Yep, I remember that. Hold on a second. Yep, I remember that. I forgot about that. Samuel Porter says, this is my favorite Cowboy show now. No cap. Appreciate you. Man, we got some good stuff playing here going in the future. James says, Ric Flair to be the man. You got to be the man. They don't know about that Ric Flair. Man, you better believe it. Where is Frederick? Can he come help this O-line? Man, don't even. Travis Frederick. I'm telling y'all, in the offseason, because I know there won't be a lot going on, I'm going to do a lot of profiles on some of these past Dallas Cowboy players. Man, I'm telling y'all, boy, Travis Frederick was about to be Hall of Fame. This team would be different with Travis Frederick up there. It'd be different. Oh, man, I wish that dude was still here. But I digress. All right, so we caught up on that. And I want you to hear, let me see. There was only one more thing on the interview, and the rest you'll have to go look at on your own. Let me see. Nisi brought this up, y'all. Y'all got to hear what Jerry Jones said. Now, Nisi, you tell me, after you heard Jerry Jones say what he said about Amari Cooper, did you look at this differently? After he said what he said, because I don't know if you actually heard it, but what you said sounds like you heard it. Because to me, when I heard what Jerry Jones said, I'm starting to realize that even though at this point I don't really agree with everything Jerry Jones doing, man, Jerry Jones is dropping some atomic bombs, and Jerry Jones is showing that he has more knowledge of this game than people are giving him credit for. I wish he had more knowledge. I wish he had more knowledge of the salary cap, but that's a whole different discussion. But as far as what's going on in this game, Jerry knows what's going on. So, Nisi, you tell me, I'm about to skip to where Jerry is going to make these comments, and I'm thinking it's at the 15-minute mark. What he says about this Amari Cooper thing is mind-blowing. Let's roll it.
And we've got some receivers that take the coaching and can improve. That's the big thing, improve.
Jerry, Amari Cooper was traded this past week. I know that it's a different year. Supply and demand is obviously different. But when a guy gets traded, a guy that you have previously traded, do you ever take a step back, compare compensation? Is there anything you can learn from compensation packages from trades around the league, especially when there is a similarity like the Amari trade?
Yeah, absolutely I can. We went for the dollars. When we traded Amari Cooper, we saved almost $20 million for our cap and in the future. We took a lesser draft pick to get that savings. When he made this move the other day, Cleveland went for more draft pick and less savings.
Y'all tell me what you think. I didn't think about it on these terms as much then as I do now. Because, see, sometimes we forget. Because I still say, Jerry Jones, y'all got in your feelings about Amari Cooper because of y'all know what. But there's another part of it too. There were rumblings of Jerry was displeased that Amari Cooper was disappearing during some games. And Amari Cooper, he was disappearing during some games. But I would have kept Amari Cooper. But Jerry Jones, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Jerry just said, don't call us dumb. Do you hear him? I see what you're printing. I see that you're printing that we gave up a fifth, or we got a fifth, and Cleveland Cleveland got a third. We hear what you're saying, but you're not looking at the other part. We went for the dollars. We wanted the money. We wanted to save the money on Amari Cooper. We didn't want to pay Amari Cooper any more money. And so what the Cleveland Browns did, they got the draft pick, but they also still got to deal with some of that money. That's what Jerry Jones is saying. So he just explained it simple. They didn't want to pay him. I mean, it's that simple. they didn't want to pay him. I thought that was like, man, I'm like, you know what? Again, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I agree with it. But I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. They couldn't keep Amari Cooper and have that money. And on top of that part, watch this. Jerry loves his draft picks. We're going to talk about Dalvin Cook maybe about Thursday or Friday because I want to see if they're going to bring him up because I've heard no talk yet. So I don't want to prematurely talk too much about it. But I think I'm not listening to Mike Fisher, of which I respect Mike Fisher. You know, he's been in this game way longer than me, talked to more people than me, seen more than me. But I'm not listening to Mike Fisher on this because he's saying that the Cowboys are watching Dalvin Cook every day in practice and they're not liking what they're seeing in practice. Well, what are they seeing from Zeke in practice? What are they seeing from Deuce Vaughn in practice? What are they seeing from Rico Dowdle in practice? Because none of that is translating on the field. And if Dalvin Cook is that bad, what are you keeping him on the practice squad for? Jerry Jones loves his draft picks. He loves his draft picks. And anybody who ever noticed what Jerry Jones does, he pays the players that he typically drafts. I heard Jerry did not want Troy as GM. Jealous Jerry. Well, you got to understand, why would he want Troy as the GM? He's the GM. He's the GM. Of course he don't want him as a GM. Revelation said Jason Witten, head coach. You know what? I need to see, Jason needs to step up a little bit. He's in high school right now. I'd like to see him be a position coach. I could see him being one of those Dan Campbell type coaches. And he could be real good for the organization. And so, yeah, I think Jerry should consider that too. I think Jason Witten is a very fiery guy. I also think he should think about bringing in Sean Lee as a coach. I'm sorry, I'd be bringing in a lot of these ex-players who were really good in their positions to be coaches. Yes, Sunny Days, love Turpin Speed, but he's goofy. That's why we'll put up with him. He's young. He's young and immature. I can excuse him. I can't excuse Mike McCarthy. Bill Bates says Witten would be a great coach. I agree. Oh, yeah. Let him come in, get him some experience at a position, and then see what he do. Freddie says, don't you people get it that Lacewell is the team's unnamed GM? Lacewell. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that, but it seems like they have an entire team of people who are kind of doing some of this stuff. But I'll have to look that up. I'll definitely have to look that up. Y'all give me a second. I'm going to catch up in the chat and do something real quick. Yeah, Freddie, I'll have to look up that thing about Lacewell. Yeah, that's very interesting that you bring that up. But I think, if I'm not mistaken though, it seems like from everything that we're kind of figuring out, they have an entire team that is doing some of this stuff. That's doing some of this stuff that they're doing, and so let's look at a couple of other things here as we close this out. So I want to look at this last part as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys, and this is going to catapult us into. We're going to start talking about over the next few days. Now we're going to start talking about what does the Dallas Cowboys need to do to win the game? Because at the end of the day, see, the bye week is over. All the 105.3 stuff, the Detroit Lions game is over. Micah Parsons is exactly right. It is now time to move on to the San Francisco 49ers. And just because, and we're not going to talk about that injury report today, because I'm still skeptical about their injury report and what it's going to look like by Friday, because we know that Deebo Samuel is, from what my understanding is, they're downplaying it, but he's in the hospital with pneumonia. And so I don't think Deebo Samuel is going to play, but you never know. Yeah, Donna Moore, I agree. We need a young coach. That's what I've been saying. So let me read a couple of these comments, and then I'm going to get to this next part about the 49ers, because this is a very big deal. No Cap, you still on here? Revelation, just Witten coached his kids' high school team to a championship. Don't mean he can coach the NFL. Yeah, see, that's why I said, Freddie, I'd rather see him first come in as a position coach, and let's see what he can do as a position coach before we just jump him up into that. Cowboys got a 5th, and Browns got a 3rd for Amari, right? Yep. And like Jerry said, see, they were thinking about the money, and they were thinking about the draft pick. So that's why Jerry is saying they basically took that draft pick because they wanted to offload that money. Roberta says then he needs to act like it. Jerry does not want to share the glory. Yeah, I think that's one of the problems that he had with Jimmy. Jerry Jones pretty much nailed it about Amari. People forget that we saved a lot on the cap. Yep, a whole lot on the cap. Freddie, Freddie, okay, I see something y'all talking about in the chat. The Raiders got rid of Cooper because of his taking off plays and making business decisions on the field. That's kind of what people say about him. But even at 50%, Amari is useful compared to what we got now. Oh, yes, he'd be running circles around what we have right now. Amari still would have helped this team as wide receiver too now, though. Oh, yeah, especially bringing him back where CD is now. Oh, man, Dak would have ate with both of them. How many college coaches have been great coaches in college, but when they come into the big time and flop? Oh, a bunch. Forget Fisher. L.O. Yeah, Fisher, man, he trips sometimes. Then let him go. Why is he still protecting Kellen? Coop said he knew during the week of practice that he wasn't going to get the ball. Did he really disappear, or was he wiped out by the OC? That will break anyone. You know what? I think about that year when Dak Prescott played an absolutely flawless game against Tom Brady. I remember I was laughing so hard because, man, Dak Prescott was playing so out of his mind that game. I remember that game that they gave Dak Prescott something and he put into that Gatorade cup and drank it down. I said, boy, that boy, Dak Prescott over there taking like emergency steroids or something. Dak Prescott played out of his mind. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what game plan did Kellen Moore call the next game. It didn't even resemble the Tampa Bay game. This man had Dak Prescott sitting in the pocket as a sitting duck against the 49ers. I'll never understand how do you go from calling that Tampa Bay game to that 49ers game. Freddie don't know and don't care what was worked these past 30 years for Jerry. Angie says he was wiped out, and E.C. Coop said he even went to Dak and coach about the plays. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, they blackballed. I think they blackballed Amari in a sense, because I think in some instances they might have wanted to justify in the eyes of people of them getting rid of him. Cowboys trivia 2. 2 of the worst beatdowns our Cowboys have suffered were against ex-Cowboys who were head coaches. Man. And you know who else that keeps happening to? Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn had Kyle Shanahan with him in Atlanta when he went to the Super Bowls. And you know who Dan Quinn can't beat? Dan Quinn can't beat the Shanahan tree. He can't beat him. Roberto said, I know he did not want Troy to make to take his thunder. Oh, no. He gonna get that. 44-0 Dicker, 47-9 Campbell. Boys, Campbell. I'm gonna tell you though, Bill. Dan Campbell gonna regret what he did, because there's no way that Hutchins should have been in that game the way they were beating the Dallas Cowboys. Give Cook a chance. What can it hurt? Exactly. If Jimmy's still an advisor with his organization, because I'm not seeing his fingerprints on any of this crap. I'm not sure, people were saying that. I don't know about that. End y'all the politics and friendships. They need to get the plays that wins. Yes, for sure. They act like they couldn't scheme for CD and Coop. Just ridiculous. And you know what? Amari Cooper, the excuses for Dak needs to stop. He's playing horrible. You know what? I'm not going to agree with you there, because we already covered that yesterday. And even and you know something is wrong when even Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith and even Dan Orlovsky, when Dan Orlovsky says that Jerry Jones has set Dak Prescott up to fail, and Dan Orlovsky is not giving excuses but telling the truth about what is around Dak Prescott, nah. Okay, no cap. Debo is home now. Okay, this next part gonna be for you, no cap. You hang in there. Angie, niece, exactly. Less politics. All right, we're finna get to the San Francisco game. Revelation so want to McCarthy bring in Witten and have him bring in an entirely different coaching staff. Well, one thing we know, Freddie, Jerry ain't letting you pick the coaching staff. He ain't letting you do it. And that's why I think another reason Bill ain't coming here. Debo got released from the hospital this morning, so today is a day off. He can still have a chance to play Sunday. Yeah, I think he is. Pneumonia is no joke. He would need a few weeks to get his strength. Yeah, I think it's a chance if he truly had pneumonia, he's not going to play. And it's not the end of the world if the Niners don't win. I saw that Niners game. Not a good look for them. Angie says, nobody's making excuses for Dak. We know he needs to play better. How can you play better when you ain't got better people around you? However, he has been set up to fail. Yep, Orlovsky said it. The O-line, yes. Even Jerry's even admitting. Poor play calling, poor play design. But watch what I tell you. I have a feeling Mike McCarthy going to come out the woodworks of them plays. Dalvin needs to see time on the field. What is there to lose at this point? So the last few minutes, I want to talk about this 49ers thing. This 49ers game, and I know y'all caught what I was showing y'all. I was a little bit surprised and taken aback that Jerry is saying that this game is not a critical game. And I'm a little bit surprised that he's saying it's not a critical game. Okay, hold on just a second. He's saying it's not a critical game. And I don't really understand why he's saying it's not a critical game. The Cowboys need to win this game. There's no getting around it. They need to win this game because they don't want to get too far behind. I mean, the Washington Commanders right now are 5-2. So you don't want to get so far behind that you can't catch up. Because at the end of the day, the Cowboys have got to keep it this simple. Win the division. With the way the Cowboys are playing this year, who cares about the home field advantage? And no cap, thank you for giving us that history. It was 2010. The Mike McCarthy went to the Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, 10-6 on the road, and they won the Super Bowl. And I'm sure if I know Mike McCarthy, he's been telling that story. So what the Cowboys have got to focus on, they've got to focus on winning the division, getting in as a wild card. And so if they can just get in as a wild card, and with the teams right now, I mean, I don't see a team over there that I would necessarily be concerned about other than the Detroit Lions, because they are playing extremely well. Maybe a little worried about them. But for the most part, I actually wouldn't be worried. I would not be too worried. So I want us to see something of why I wanted to bring up the Dallas Cowboys run defense first versus the San Francisco 49ers run offense. I got news for all of us. Kyle Shanahan has been watching Brock Purdy, how he looks without McCaffrey, how he looks without players like Ayuk. Now he doesn't have Ayuk. He's looking at how he's looking without Deebo Samuels. He's watching all of that. So I'm telling you, the game plan for Kyle Shanahan is going to be take the ball out of the hands of Brock Purdy, because people may not realize it. Do y'all know where this blueprint comes from of beating the Dallas Cowboys? That blueprint comes from Kyle Shanahan. People are looking at what the 49ers were able to do to them on the ground, running the ball at them in particular ways. And so now other teams do the same thing. And I want to show you that even without McCaffrey, even without Ayuk, even without Deebo Samuels, this is going to be an absolute scary game for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a scary game because the San Francisco 49ers, let me see what this looks like. The San Francisco 49ers, they do well what the Cowboys are terrible at. They run the ball. And let me readjust this real quick, because they run the ball extremely well. And so the one thing that hurts the Cowboys is the run game. And so the Cowboys' run defense, let me see when you pull it up here. All right, let me make one more adjustment. So when you look here on the left, we got the run defense for the Dallas Cowboys. We got the run offense for the San Francisco 49ers. Let me show you something that's alarming about these statistics. The Dallas Cowboys allow 143.2 yards a game. They're 26, but they're actually last, if I'm not mistaken, in the run. Maybe it changed over the weekend because they did not play. So they're 26th, right? Look how many yards per game the San Francisco 49ers run. 149. You might as well say 150 yards per game. Even without Brock Purdy, they're going to have problems. You look at, when you look at them, even in the, hold on a second. When you look at them, yards per carry, the Cowboys rank 16th. They're allowing 4.5 yards a carry. The 49ers average 4.9 yards a carry. The Cowboys are 16th worst. They're 8th best. Look at this one right here. Yards before contact. The Dallas Cowboys do pretty good. They're 13th. That means they are 13th. 1.18 yards before contact. They're getting initial contact. Yards before contact. The 49ers are 10th. 1.61, 1.6 yards before first contact. Advantage, 49ers again. This is the one that really ought to scare us. We've been watching it firsthand. Yards after contact. Now watch this. Yards before contact, we're 13th. That means we're getting to the ball carrier. Yards after contact, we're 26th, 3.33. You know what that's saying? Our tackling is terrible. Our tackling is terrible. You want to know what's scary? Yards after contact. The 49ers are 6th. That means they are actually breaking tackles. Mike Zimmer going to have his work cut out for him. Mike Zimmer and this defense, they're going to have their work cut out for them. This stat right here is extremely scary. Look at this one. Outside runs. I had to do a little bit of studying on this to understand what it meant, because I'm like, okay, outside runs, what does it mean they're first? 65.6%. Do y'all know what defenses have figured out about the Cowboys, even though their interior defensive line is, well, it was terrible, but they've gotten better over the weeks. But you know what they've noticed? You can destroy the Cowboys with outside runs. You want to know what the 49ers do well? They are 3rd in the league in outside runs. 67%, basically 68% of their runs, they run outside. And 66% of the time, people run outside of the Cowboys. And we have seen the results of every team that seems to run on us. If they can run, if they're the Saints, if they're the Ravens, if they're the Lions, they run us out the building. The Cowboys are going to have their hands full with this football game. And I want y'all to look at something. This dude, Jordan Mason, do we not understand? This dude is the backup to McCaffrey. Do we see who he's second to? Because if Derrick Henry is number 1, then he's number 2. 128 carries. 667 yards. He's 17th in touchdowns. Look at his yards per carry. He's 74th, but he's 5.2 yards a carry. The Cowboys are going to have their work cut out for them. And I'm going to tell you, No Cap mentioned this guy. No Cap mentioned this guy the other day. And I saw him running the ball. Nope, Brock Purdy not looking too Purdy at the moment, Freddie. You know what? And Kyle Shanahan knows it. I'll be shocked if Brock Purdy throws that ball more than 15 times. I'll be shocked if he throws it more than 15 times, because Shanahan is seeing something. He's not the same. He's not the same. He's looking like the last selected player in the draft without those weapons. Shanahan gonna take the ball out of his hand until he gets the Cowboys frozen with that play action, which is the very same thing that the Detroit Lions did. They kept freezing them with that play action, with the misdirections. You're still getting them to the outside, whatever the case may be. They're going to freeze them with that play action, because the Cowboys, the game plan is probably simple. Stop the run. I don't think the Cowboys can stop the run with their 4-down linemen. We need Eric Kendricks back. Everyone's talking about Michael Parsons. I don't think Michael Parsons is the one we need back. Eric Kendricks is the one we need back, because Eric Kendricks is the quarterback of the defense. Eric Kendricks is the one who makes sure people are in position. Eric Kendricks is the one who's controlling the flow of the line of scrimmage and the run. So if we don't have Eric Kendricks, it's not going to really matter, at least to me, unless I see something different. Because we're going to be trying to rush Michael Parsons, trying to get him to rush the quarterback, get some pressure on Purdy, get him off of his spot. But Kyle Shanahan going to neutralize that like most teams have. The reason why people don't understand, the reason why Michael Parsons is down on his sacks and his pressures, teams aren't running the ball against him. I mean, they're not passing the ball against him because they can't stop the run. So they're running at him. They're running against him. They're chipping him on the run. So Michael Parsons don't have no opportunity to do Michael Parsons things. They were doing Michael Parsons things last year because they were playing with the lead a lot of times. If we look at this team this year, they're not playing with the lead ever. I mean, they're not getting the lead until the end of the games a lot of times. They're not putting teams in passing situations. It's very rare that they're doing that. So since they're not putting teams in passing situations, well, you neutralize Michael Parsons. So even if Michael Parsons is back, is it really going to make that big of a difference unless you can stop the run? But the catch-22 is you're not good at stopping the run, and they are great at the run even without McCaffrey. Without McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan has pulled off the second best rusher in the league. Better stop playing. Better stop playing. And Mike McCarthy, he has a hard time getting these guys up. I know, Freddie, we say it shouldn't be, but it is what it is. He's the coach. He has a hard time not only getting these guys up, getting these guys focused, having a game plan. Mike McCarthy ought to be putting together a game plan, and they still have their defense. So this game is not going to be as easy as people think. We're hurt on defense. They're hurt on offense. It's a wash. It's really a wash at the end of the day. So the issue is, I mean, who's going to want it the most? Who's going to want it the most? And it went from 7.5 point underdog Cowboys. Now they're 5.5 points. They're figuring in now, okay, no Ayuk, Debo might not be playing, but they're still choosing them. 5.5 points. And so, no cap, you brought this dude up the other day. And you know what? I'm going to pull it up here in a minute. I watched a game with this guy you're talking about, this Garado. Angie says it would have been nice to still have Big Hank. He was playing good that game. Yep. Don't understand it. I noticed the penalties comes when the heroes decide doing their job is not enough. Yep. Purdy struggles versus great defenses, Ravens, Chiefs, etc. Those are his worst games. I want us to understand something for the people in the back. The Chiefs have a ferocious defense. It's not average. Patrick Mahomes is stinking it up out there. Stinking it up. And the Chiefs are dominating teams. There's only been one 300-yard passer on them since, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. No team has scored more than 2 touchdowns on the Kansas City Chiefs this season. Let's be careful thinking that the 49ers and Purdy going to look like against us like they look against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're not in that realm yet. We're not in that realm. There's levels of this. That Chiefs defense, people aren't giving them the credit they deserve. That defense is monstrous, man. It's monstrous. Steve Spagnuolo is killing it out there. Angie says receivers was getting no separation and kept getting the ball knocked away. San Francisco, their defense, they are average and maybe a little above, but they got some above average players. They got some above average players out there, and that's a fact. And so that defense ain't no slouch either. That defense ain't no slouch either. And his name is, and let me pull him up here. No Cap just gave him to us. His name is Isaac, and I hope I'm saying it right. His name is Isaac Guerendo. Now, I want you to understand something. You know what's funny? And No Cap, you can attest to this. People don't even understand what's going on with this kid. This kid is pretty good. I can see him being one of these guys that didn't get drafted high, being one of them guys that everybody's kind of like, you know what? He'll be a good backup. I can see him being one of these guys that's going to turn into a super stud monster. He's 83rd. He only has 23 carries, 142 yards, 0 touchdowns, but he's 6.2 yards a carry. I'm going to show y'all something about him. And I don't have the highlight that he did this on, but I thought it was very interesting in the game that he played, and no cap, you can attest to this. I have him, let me see here. I have his stats up here in particular. I was looking at them, and I noticed that when he played against the Seattle Seahawks, let me tell y'all something. The people in San Francisco have been calling for this guy to get more snaps. Kyle Shanahan knows what he has. You tell me, no cap, if you've been hearing this. But I've been looking at the wire, and they've been talking about this kid, Isaac Guerendo, should already be getting more carries. But because Jordan Mason, I think that's his name he's doing so good that they don't have any reason to use him. I wouldn't be surprised if they unleash him on the Dallas Cowboys. Because let me show y'all what he did in this game in particular against the Seattle Seahawks. See, he didn't get no carries against Kansas City. 1 carry, 2 yards. Feast your eyes on that Thursday night game. 10 for 99. 9.9 yards a carry. His longest run, and I didn't understand this. No cap, you tell me what you think. I didn't understand this. I know he wanted to keep time on the clock so he could run the time out on the Seattle Seahawks. But what I didn't understand was he broke a 76-yard run. A 76-yard run. And he slid down around the 5-yard line so that he wouldn't score, so that they could run more time off the clock, only for them not to run a lot of time off the clock, and they wound up having to score anyway. This kid is going to be good. And I was looking at his draft grade, his prospect grade. And I'm going to show y'all something that stands out to me. And another reason why he scares me as it pertains to playing a team like the Dallas Cowboys. A team where teams run outside on them frequently and they have a problem stopping outside runs. Freddie said, I'm not bragging, but I think that if I could to this guys on defense for the boys, they would be ready to run through a wall by the time I got through. I believe you. I believe you, Freddie. Bosa. Yep. I think, of course, Bosa's still playing. Oh, yeah. They got super studs on that team, man. He thought he should run out. Kyle says he'll no score kid. Look at this. Look at this kid's prospect. I was tripping when I saw his prospect grade was a 6.15. And it says, good backup with the potential to develop into a starter. He's 6 feet, 221. Y'all want to see what scares me? Look at these measurables. 4.33 40. I saw this kid break that run against Seattle. It was like they were standing still. This kid is that fast. And I don't know, some of y'all might not understand football speed. He got football speed. And when you can run 4.3, and it translates when you put those pads on, 4.3, this dude moving. This dude is moving. Man, I'm telling you. I saw that game against Seattle, and I saw that run. I was like, who this dude? I got a feeling the Dallas Cowboys are going to be introduced to Isaac Guerendo. That's his name, Isaac Guerendo. We're about to be introduced to Isaac Guerendo. This dude gonna play. This dude gonna play. I got a feeling he's gonna be a part of what they're gonna use to make up for Debo being out. To make up for Ayuk. And you know, because Debo is in that run game sometime. This kid right here. Y'all think Debo good? Let this kid get a little daylight. Ain't gonna be no catching him. There'll be no catching him. There'll be no catching him. And so I think he's going to be a very, very big deal. He's going to be a very, very big deal. And so as we close this show out, I know y'all got stuff to do. Appreciate you rocking with me. We'll talk more about this, and this will be a part of what we'll talk about on Wednesday. The one thing I want to see the Dallas Cowboys do, because I don't understand. It's the same thing I was saying about the Kellen Moore game when with Tampa Bay. And then he came back the next week and Kellen Moore's game plan looked like somebody told him, throw the football game. Throw it. Don't try to win it. You did what you needed to do. You beat Tampa Bay. Don't try to win another game. But when we look at what the Dallas Cowboys did against the Pittsburgh Steelers, people can tell me anything they want to. Do y'all know the Pittsburgh Steelers are not trash? I know people want to say the Pittsburgh Steelers are trash. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not trash. I find it to be strange that these last two teams they've played have not been able to do what the Dallas Cowboys did to them. And I'm not saying that they're world beaters, but at the end of the day, the Cowboys had their way with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only thing that stopped them was turnovers. That game shouldn't have even been that close. I mean, Dallas went to Pittsburgh and basically put a whooping on them. And what I want to see from the Dallas Cowboys is I want to see them do exactly what they did when they went to Pittsburgh. I want to see what they did. I want to see them do what they did at Pittsburgh. I want to see them go in there, and I want them to spread the ball around. I want them to let Rico Dowdle be the starter. Let Rico Dowdle start the game. Let Rico Dowdle run the ball. Rico Dowdle in that game, he was 20 for 87. His longest, look like it says, was 13. Rico Dowdle did extremely well in that game. They sprinkled in a little Zeke for 6 for 17. Lipke, I want to see more, 2 for 6. I mean, the Cowboys were intentional in that game plan. And they went in there and they got, what is this? Was that 104, 110, 115 yards? They did a job on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is exactly what they need to do. Look at this. Dak Prescott hit 10 different receivers. 10 different receivers. Tolbert was a leading receiver. Ferguson 6 for 70. Lamb 5 for 62. I mean, they did the thing, man. 4 for 50 Turpin. 2 for 27 Rico Dowdle and a touchdown. The Cowboys were playing in that game, man. They came to win. And had it not been for a couple of turnovers, man, that game wouldn't even been close. That game would not have been close. The Cowboys had 3 turnovers. That game would not have even been close. Dak throws that one red zone interception. Man, that game isn't even close. They don't even have to make those last-minute heroics like they made in that game. I want to see the Dallas Cowboys, when they play the San Francisco 49ers, I want to see them play them like they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but that's what I want them to do. We'll give our long-term, we'll give our final prediction on this game come Friday. Come Friday, we'll talk about it. No Cap says if Kyle is smart, he'll use Garindo and Ricky Pearsall. They're unknown and no tape on them, really. I think this dude Garindo is who he's going to use. That 4.3 speed is sickening. Man, speed kills, bro. Speed kills. Speed kills in football. So, that's going to do it for me. Once again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We got a lot of things coming in the future. We're going to be doing some giveaways, some memberships, all kinds of stuff to just really encourage the fan base while at the same time telling the truth. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.